detoxing, cleansing and detoxing. Why is that important? What do we offer at Batson and Associates? From the last conversation that we had, I remember we had two questions where we spoke. One was related to circulation, and the other was related to perimenopause. So I'll touch on those as we go along. Keep in mind the program is an interactive program. So if you have any questions regarding your health, someone else's health, any of the products and services that we offer at Batson and Associates, feel free to ask. It's always good to get your input. And of course, I'll allow Third Base to just remind you of that contact information so that we'll be able to get your questions.
All right. Once again, our contact information, folks, 627-3223, 625-2257, and you can WhatsApp at 306-1065.
Great. Keep in mind, we are live on our social media platforms. I believe we have 45 minutes today, sir, so we'll be finishing at 2, correct?
Yes, at 2 p.m.
Yes, definitely. Right. So our social media, we are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. You could always like us, follow us, share us. We are also Batson and Associates TT on Instagram, and on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we basically support your health naturally. So detox. A lot of persons will tell you, okay, is taking a detox a good thing? Is it safe? The answer is yes, and the answer is also yes. Now, what you have to be careful, keep in mind when we're discussing detox, we're not necessarily discussing purging. That's two completely different things. So a detox is basically some supplements, whether it would be a herbal or vitamin combination, because some cleanses do have that. The particular one I'm going to discuss in a little bit is one called Santulan, which is actually a product that we use at Batson and Associates. Santulan actually is Hindi, or in Hindi means balance or equilibrium. So the product is basically a 7-channel detox. Now, why is that important? You have 7 channels of elimination, right? So keep up with me. So you have your kidney, your colon, your bloodstream, your liver, your lymphatic system, your skin, and your lungs. So I'll go again. Kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. So if you're taking a cleanse, it would be sensible to use a cleanse that would cover the 7 channels which your body uses to eliminate waste, which is the ones I just called there: kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. Now, the thing is, a lot of persons might say, well, wait, doesn't my body clean itself? Because if I have regular bowel movements, I go to the toilet every day. Some people would go twice, some people go 3 times. I drink sufficient amounts of water. So then why do I really need a cleanse? Now, keep in mind, before I started discussing cleanse, I touched on carnival a bit. So remember, apart from, this is targeting the persons who would have actually partook of, a certain amount of alcohol, whatever the case may be, over the holidays, as well as foods that you may not have partook of before. Because remember, you're going to all-inclusive, you would have spent your money or get your compliment, whatever the case is. And, it's going to have meat, it's going to have seafood, whatever the case may be. So you're going to indulge. So that in itself alone is incentive to take a detox. Because remember, alcohol, as much as a lot of people do like to hear this, if you partake of your alcohol sparingly, it could be okay, but I mean, alcohol in the general sense isn't really one of the best things for the human body. So of course you'd want to detoxify the body from those things, as well as I mentioned, because you would have eaten heavier meals, that type of thing. You would have participated maybe in more meat, whatever the case may be. So it's a good idea to actually cleanse and detoxify. So apart from the carnival individuals, we're looking at someone who may not necessarily have participated in carnival, but you didn't take a cleanse in a while because you may not know how important it is. I'll share something with you. A lot of the problems that you have usually are as a result of those 7 channels that I spoke about. Now, the thing is, you may have a problem with your skin, for example. So you might have atopic dermatitis, or you may have acne, you may have psoriasis, or some serious autoimmune skin condition. You may have problems with headaches. A perfect example is headaches. You may have problems with your energy level, so you're always tired. You sleep, you eat well, you exercise, but you're always tired. So again, that could be the body telling you, listen, I need to take a cleanse and a detox. How so? Now, one of the things that Santulan does, as I mentioned, it cleanses your liver. Why is that important? Now, especially as it relates to energy, your liver is a very important organ where energy is concerned. Your liver converts protein to amino acid to protein. It also does a serious aspect of metabolism. So your liver is very important. If you want to build muscle, if you want to lose fat, that plays a very significant role in that. So it's vitally important, especially as it relates to weight and losing weight, to have a healthy liver. That's something a lot of persons not aware of. So you can feel free to give us a call or visit at any one of our locations. The number for head office, which is one number I'll give you to make life easy, that is Shagonas, which is first floor of Money Talks building. That telephone number is 222-8261. Again, that's 222-8261. And once you call that number, you can actually get the information for the rest of offices, one being in Debe, that's the corner of Ramsey Mooch Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. We also have Red Edge Mall, which is located on the Western Main Road in St. James. That is actually Muniram Street. It's on the corner of Muniram Street, very easy to find. And then, of course, we have Tobago, which is Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. So you could feel free. That telephone number again is 222-8261. Again, that's 222-8261. Again, keep in mind. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
In terms of diabetic, somebody with type 2 diabetes, or what can you do for type 2 diabetes? Of course, I don't know if it could be actually cured, but maintained. So what can you do for somebody with type 2 diabetes?
Okay, good question. All right. So when we're going down the controversial highway, the word that they normally have inside of the highway or on the highway is cure. C-U-R-E. So we're not using that word. We're staying out from the controversy. We're going to use the word reverse, right? And the thing with diabetes could be reversed. Obesity could be reversed. For those of you who are not sure what obesity is, that's when you carry a weight that is really, really alarming to the point where it puts stress on your organs and different organ systems. So if you're obese, significantly overweight, it categorizes a lot of life-threatening issues. So it could open up your likelihood of developing cardiovascular diseases very quickly. You could be more at risk of diabetes, more at risk of hypertension, and that type of thing. So back to the question that was asked as regards to diabetes and type 2 diabetes in question. You have to understand what type 2 diabetes is, right? So we know diabetes is when you have abnormally high levels of glucose that remain in your bloodstream for extended periods of time. Now, glucose, which is the simplest form of sugar, is not supposed to be very high in your bloodstream, but diabetics experience that. And if you're type 2 diabetic, it means that your pancreas, which is an organ in your body, produces a hormone known as insulin, and insulin is the hormone that's responsible for regulating blood glucose levels. So in the case of a type 2 diabetic, your body is producing insulin. The problem is that your receptor cells, which are responsible for now taking up the glucose and store them in cells, which your body would later call on the glucose to use as energy, those receptor cells are not functioning properly. So type 2 diabetes, excuse me, is essentially much easier to reverse than type 1 diabetes. Now, type 1 diabetes is not impossible, but it just requires a lot more work, especially from the perspective of diet ethics and supplementation and that type of thing. So, and that is something we do at Batson and Associates. In fact, this year we actually opened our integrative diabetes, pain, and autoimmune center, which is where we're going to be basically focusing on a lot of autoimmune diseases. So people who have things like rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, if you have been diagnosed with things like lupus, connective tissue disorder, even thyroid. Thyroid is becoming more and more concerning in Trinidad and Tobago. We also deal with that as well. So again, you can take advantage of the telephone number, which is 222-8261. Again, that's 222-8261, and you could get information as regards to our consultation, the test packages that we offer, as well as the additional services. Over to you, third base. One of the questions quickly before I go back there to third base. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon to our listeners on Facebook. We have Miss Annie Grant. She says, "Good afternoon, Dr. Batson and Associates." Miss Nicola Hood, who I know is from Antigua. She has actually joined us as well. We are also live on our Instagram. We are Batson and Associates TT on Instagram. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon to Miss Elizabeth Nandlal, one of our clients from the South Branch. Pleasant good afternoon to you as well. We have a question here quickly. One of the questions someone is asking, what is the youngest age can someone take Santulan? Okay, good question. So the thing is, children can use Santulan. Santulan can be used from or by a child the age of 3 go up to adulthood, 90 something. One of our oldest clients is what, like 92, and they use Santulan. They never had any problem with it. The only thing we would just have to tell you what's the dosage in terms of the amount that you have to use. Santulan is primarily liquid. It's a tea that you actually use to make a cleanse. So it's liquid, so it's very easy. It's not a lot of pills to swallow and that type of thing. That is what really appealed to me where that product is concerned. It was very easy, especially for women, because we use it with a lot of women who have problems with their menstrual cycle, especially if you have painful menstrual cycle, if you have a lot of problems with things like polycystic ovaries, fibroids, that type of thing. So again, you could feel free to call and get that information. That number again, 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And those locations, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Woods Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. And keep in mind, Debe has actually resumed opening for the entire week. We used to open from Wednesday to Saturday, but we have actually started back as of this month here to open throughout the week from Monday to Saturday. So you could take advantage of that. So we'll go over to third base. Yes, sir. Yes.
In terms of a detox, how do you do your detox? How is your detox regimen?
Okay, so it's primarily, as I said, the product I'm discussing is Santulan, Santulan. It's all liquid, so it's primarily 3 tea bags going to give you 4 liters of tea, right? 4 liters is equivalent to 1 gallon. So you're essentially making the entire gallon of tea and you refrigerate it. Now, ideally, I'm not one who would recommend a lot of cold beverages because drinking a lot of cold beverages is not one of the healthiest things, especially for your intestines. It causes a lot of problems with digestion. So we normally recommend that you take it out of the refrigerator, the amount you will drink, which would be normally 16 to 8 to 16 ounces. And we normally recommend that you use it like about 5 p.m. Reason we tell you 5 p.m. is because it's easier to use the cleanse and work. How so? So if you drink it at about 5 p.m., it's going to be in between your lunch and your dinner, going with the assumption that your dinner would be anywhere in the vicinity of maybe 7, 8, 9 for the latest. Good. And the Santulan is to be used on an empty stomach, and an empty stomach is actually an hour before or 2 to 2.5 hours, 3 hours after the meal, depending on what the meal is. Okay, so you basically drink 8 to 16 ounces every day at 5 p.m. You're going to get a bowel movement either late in the night or early in the morning. So it doesn't affect you when you have to go to work. So you could actually use Santulan and work. Okay. Let me say again, and the good thing about it, as our client said, it doesn't taste bad. It doesn't taste like a cleanse you're drinking, right? And it's also very effective for weight loss as well. Apart from problems with low energy, even in the camp where the males are concerned, especially when you're looking at proper male function and that type of thing, a lot of people don't understand. In order to have any proper male anything, you need to have proper circulation. So it is very important that you cleanse intermittently as a male to maintain proper health and proper sexual function, because that in itself, the reason why people end up with things like erectile dysfunction and problems with the prostate later on in life and that type of thing, a lot of the times is because of not actually detoxing. Let me give you a quick example. Just today, I was doing a program earlier, and one of the things that we have is something known as an engine promotion. And that engine promotion is basically targeting clients of ours and additional individuals who work in like the oil and gas industry, people who work at auto garages. So if you're a auto mechanic, if you paint, so you might be doing auto body work, you are someone who doing welding, whether it's arc and acetylene, TIG, MIG, those type of things. Persons like that. So there's a promotion that we have called the engine promotion, where we actually target businesses like that and those type of personnel because of the exposure to the chemicals that you have. Note to self, if you do not know, well, you know now, there are certain professions that essentially expose you to toxic chemicals. Hairdressers, auto body mechanics, welders, people who work in any aspect of oil and gas, especially if you're doing things like petroleum engineering, those type of things, you're working on rigs and those type of things, you are exposed even under proper PPP requirements. So it is very important to do your intermittent cleanse and detoxes. If you someone working at a gas station, for example, how you working at a gas station? all your life and never take a detox. Come on, man. You're literally asking for cancer to come on you. So it is a very good way of being pre as a precautionary measure as well as a practical measure as it relates to maintenance. You would be surprised the amount of things that you can save yourself from just by doing a proper detox. Keep that in mind.
Now, there's some people who will treat their vehicles better than they treat their own bodies. They will clean the injectors,
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
wash, and they wouldn't.
Yeah, they wouldn't clean themselves. Very valid point, sir. Very valid point. Definitely.
Of course, the numbers to call once again 627-3223, 625-2257, 3061-067. We're talking with Dr. Of course, Batson. We're doing your holistic health right here on Freedom 106.5. Another question here. Testing of blood. Do you do like the blood readings?
Okay, good question. So what we do uh, is something known as live nutritional blood cell analysis. We are open to review and interpretation of conventional blood tests for a number of reasons. So, very quick explanation. We do something known as live blood analysis. So, it means we take blood, capillary blood, so which means we're not taking from vein, so it's not venous. We take from the tip of your fingers and we actually put it under a high-powered microscope, which can have the ability to magnify anywhere in the vicinity of 1,000, 5,000 times. So we adjust accordingly based on what we're looking for. Now, the thing is, we do a dry or what is known as smear or dry smear blood. And those of you who have any experience in biology, especially not primary school, but secondary school biology, that's something that you would have to do. And you look at it under a high-powered microscope. Now, the thing with blood is the greatest witness in the sense, sorry, that blood tells past, present, and future. So it gives us an indication. There's something we do known as biological terrain. And just this morning, I was discussing that. And what that means is that we have the ability to determine a number of issues, subhealth and what is known as basically hidden issues. Subhealth is the condition of the body before disease actually steps in. That is actually a definition used by the World Health Organization. So when you have subhealth conditions, the possibility exists you can be pre-diabetic and not diabetic as yet. And our blood test will pick that up. You can have problems where you have predispositions to arthritis. So when we do a live smear, we would actually see something known as fibrin. Fibrin is a protein that's responsible for blood clotting. You're not supposed to have fibrin present in blood within a few minutes. If within the first minute of the sample we see it, it is a clear indicator that you have liver problems and you also have problems with circulation. So it could show early signs of angina, early signs of blocked arteries, early signs of serious oxidative stress, as well as serious inflammatory response or damage in the blood vessels. So that is going to help us now to help this client to say, okay, listen, client A, client B, this is what we're seeing here. Do you experience? In most cases, somebody like that would be hypertensive. They would have poor circulation. The possibility exists they would already have been a diabetic for a number of years, which is why they have those issues. And then based on that now, the corrective program or protocol to correct that particular situation. But keep in mind, CT scans, MRIs, X-rays would be needed at specific times. And then, of course, we send you to get those. And then we use that together with what we have in doing your review to determine the improvement, how we go from there, that type of thing. Okay?
Question here. Can you reverse in terms of cancer? If someone has, well, it depends on the particular type.
On the type of cancer.
Reverse for cancer.
Yeah. The question that most people run away from. Yes and no. The thing is with cancer basically is an unusual duplication of cells. I mean, that's the basic explanation I could give that any layman would be able to understand it. So all cells have specific ways in which they specialize, right? So your kidney cell would be a kidney cell. So your kidney cell cannot be a liver cell. Your liver cell can be a heart cell. The cells have specific specialization, and based on the specialization of the cell, it would be specialized to whatever organ tissue. Good. Now, the thing is, stem cells are base cells. So stem cells, before they have differentiated, would have been stem cells. So a stem cell could become any cell in the body, a heart cell, a kidney cell, a liver cell, whatever the case may be. Good. So we now come into cancer. So let's say your kidney has a specific way in which the cells multiply. So it multiplies 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Cancer is an unusual duplication of those cells. So let's say it now starts to multiply 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That is not correct. And basically, that is what cancer is. Now, what is supposed to happen, your immune system is supposed to pick up that anomaly and deal with it immediately. But it doesn't do that. And then you are diagnosed with cancer, depending on where the cancer is located, whether it's pancreatic, prostate, whatever. But essentially, that is what it is. Now, as it relates to curing cancer and reversing cancer, the answer is yes. But what it has to do, it has a lot to do with nutrition and stress. Most cancers, if not all cancers, are as a result of one of three things. It's either environmental, so exposure to those same chemicals I was talking about. You work in maybe the oil and gas industry, you worked as a jeweler. Hairdressers have a lot of exposure, and I think they don't know how exposed they are. If you look at the research now, you're realizing a lot of hairdressers dying from cancer, a lot of nail techs, because they use things with peroxide and all these type of things. And you're inhaling this. Remember, this thing is getting in your body, it's going into your lungs, it's going to cause changes. It's almost as if you're smoking cigarette or even worse. Right? So carcinogens are responsible for causing cancer. From a dietary perspective, a lot of deficiencies are also responsible for causing cancer. Meat, you need to be very careful. I'm not saying not to eat meat. I eat meat, and I'm not necessarily an advocate of vegetarianism or being a vegan per se. However, the overuse of meat, especially in the preparation, especially pork and that type of thing, you find that tends to lead. Usually, if you hear people have cancer and you check their history, they usually would have liked a lot of pork and that kind of thing, right? So you need to be very careful with that. And in addition to that, also your stress level. If you're very stressed and you have maybe death of a loved one, divorce, those type of things, they have shown that that type of stressor could actually introduce cancer. So we have to work with it now from a supplemental and a nutritional perspective, from a perspective of now balancing all those organ systems in the body. So that's a long way of saying yes, but it requires a specific amount of work. And your diet is always fundamental when you're dealing with cancer. I don't care who your doctor is. I don't care what school they went to. Anybody who telling you anything about cancer and you're not taking your diet into consideration, you're eating every and anything, you are going to be in problems. There's no probably, might be, must be about it. You are killing yourself. You cannot be diagnosed with cancer and eating what you want. Anytime you're doing that, you lose the battle already. Yes, sir.
Question here. I'm a 59-year-old female and I am not diabetic, but I'm getting a numbness in my left foot.
Okay, well, circulation. Again, when was the last time you took a detox? Some people remember detoxing, as I said, is very important. It's so important. I remember there was an article written in New England Journal of Medicine. What we in 2023? The article was written, I think, 2019. And one of the doctors, he was at Harvard. This is Harvard University, and one of the things he did an examination on children who have ADDH. ADDH is attention deficit hyperintensity disorder, which is something that children get. Or you usually get it as a child and you grow up as an adult with it, where you have a lot of problems. Now, one of the things that he did is when he looked at the intestines and the blood of all these children, there was something that all of them had in common. And all of them had problems with their gut. Some of them had leaky gut, which is when you have holes in the intestines that are larger than it's supposed to be. Remember, your small intestines is a semi-permeable membrane, which is just a term to mean is a strainer. So it means that if the holes are larger in the strainer than it's supposed to, what will happen? When you're straining lime juice, lime seed will end up and pulp will end up in the juice. You don't want that there. So the same applies to the intestines. You have pathogens that leave across that area and get into the bloodstream and cause a lot of problems. So that's where you get things like your arthritis and your problems with hormonal imbalance and problems with. So it's a matter of now. One of the things that the study was showing is how important cleansing and detoxifying was. Because had these children been exposed to that, they would not have been in the condition that they were in. And that's a study that was actually done by Harvard University, one of their prominent researchers. So it just goes to show how important cleansing and detoxifying is for children as well as adults. Think about it. You brush your teeth every day. Usually you brush your teeth about 3-4 times a day, depending on how much time you eat. And that is an open orifice in the sense that your mouth is not closed completely. So imagine when you brush your teeth, and imagine if you're having 3 meals a day. That's what, 900 and something, almost 1,000 meals for the year. So imagine what's going on with your intestines, your liver, your kidneys. It's going to need a detox. And hence the reason why people feel so bad and you're always sick and you have dandruff and you have problems with loathar. Loathar and dandruff has nothing to do. Dandruff, sorry, has nothing to do with your scalp, and loathar has nothing to do with your skin. Nor is funguses on your nails. Like when you have problems with your nails and ridges on your fingernails, fungus on your toes, that has nothing to do with your toes. That's internal. 7 channel: kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. You can also check out the alkagen water, which is the water that we have that goes with that cleanse, that actually helps the cleanse to work even better. So that's something you could check out as well. Keep in mind that telephone number. We are 2228261. That's 2228261. And of course, our social media, we are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. Any more questions to this?
Folks, Freedom 106.5 FM, of course, 627-3223, 625-2257, and on WhatsApp 3061065. You know, those are the things with the cleanse. A lot of people are concerned about the taste. I remember back in the day, probably you know what time.
Yeah.
You had to take a purge every
Yeah.
vacation. You must take a purge.
Right.
I know they're going into that right now, but what about the taste? Some people it ought to be palatable, but nothing good for you sometimes.
Sometimes, exactly, nothing good for you sometimes. No, but it is. The taste is welcoming. It's maybe for the 12 years that we have had that product, I may have had, where taste is concerned, maybe about 25 people. And that's thousands of clients. I think even women, because it was done with the intention of dealing with a lot of women, because the product was really a product we used to use for hormonal imbalance, or part thereof, and then we did a new formulation. So it doesn't taste bad. Children use it, women use it, and they don't have any complaints. And the men, of course, well, men don't really make much fuss. We most of us drinking anything. We encourage it. Right? So the taste is not bad. Not bad at all. And what I like about it the most, as I said, it is liquid. So you're not having to swallow in a whole bag of tablets. I always had an issue with cleanses like that. And apart from that too as well, is that it effective and you could use it and work. That I wanted something that people would have been able with the busy schedules, because that's the problem. That's why so many people falling out and dying and all kind of thing going wrong with you. We know we have to work, we have to take care of children, we have to take care of house, wife, everybody, whatever the case may be. But in the final analysis, if you do not take care of yourself, you, especially if it's you driving the vehicle, you driving that whole bus, because your wife might be home taking care of children and your children going to school, you could imagine something happened to you. Think about it. Your health is your wealth. And there are some people, believe me, they have gone before their time. It's only the creator know when, how. But I believe that a lot of persons have died, and they died before their time. Why it is you have a stroke at 50? Why you have debilitating arthritis at 35? You can't walk. Why are you a diabetic at 40 and you have no legs? No, 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 no. That's not right. We could do better than that.
Question here, boy, about treatment for ED, erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, the thing is, as I said, and this is something I could say as a young man. I remember some years ago, my grandfather, they talk about Babwande. They said when they found out our Babwande in Trinidad, wherever those trees was, they realized the day after, or 2 days or a week after, they didn't have any more bark, because everybody just went and just clear away everything. So the thing is, when you're looking at male function, proper male function is dependent on circulation, proper healthy blood circulation. The persons who may have died at some point in time, especially when they take certain aphrodisiacs, the reason why they die is because that one, their heart wasn't strong enough, and two, maybe the blood was mostly thick. Now keep in mind, the reason your heart is the pump for the blood, but your blood has a certain viscosity or thickness. So let's say your blood is supposed to be the viscosity of water, and your blood is the viscosity of oil. It means that your heart has to work harder to pump a thicker substance through over 66,000 miles of blood vessels, which comprise arteries, veins, and capillaries. So it means that if your blood is not clean, if you do not drink sufficient amounts of water, if you have not taken a detox, then your male function is not going to be functional. And by taking those things, what you essentially do now is start to force thick blood in places where it cannot pass properly. And as a result of that, you end up dying. I mean, that's the basic, most simplest way I could explain it. So, men, if you're listening to this and that is your intention to improve your male function, which nothing is wrong with that, that is a part of life. I tell people there are vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and a whole host of nutrition for everything. You want things where you want better eyesight? We have things for better eyesight. You want better kidneys? We have things for better kidneys. You want a better lungs? We could help you with that. You want a better male function? Nothing is wrong with that. And vice versa with the woman, because we also deal with women with perimenopause. And most women with perimenopause, what is one of the issues? They do not feel to have any intimacy. So a lot of women, when they're going through perimenopause, menopause, or rather premenopause, menopause, and postmenopause, it can cause problems at home because of the hormonal changes and that type of thing. It have things for that too. So why all this suffering unnecessarily? And practical things at that too, even from the dietary perspective with the diet sheets that you would be given. Because men, for example, I think every man on the face of the earth know by now you're supposed to be drinking a little watermelon once in a while. You know, you get some watermelon, wash the whole watermelon, don't show away the skin, blend everything, and that's your own. But keep in mind, you must be drinking water. Quickly, the rule for drinking water is your body weight divided by 2 in ounces. You have to be drinking proper water and hydration in order for you to be using those things, watermelon and beets and those type of things. If you do not drink sufficient water and you are dehydrated, you are going to elevate your blood pressure and you're going to kill yourself. So please, there is a way in which you do things. Remember those numbers again quickly. 222-8261. That's 222-8261. You can call and get information on our consultation as well as the test package that we offer.
Drinking water right now as we speak.
Nice, man.
Different types of water. I know there's alkaline water.
Right.
There's what you have your own, and also drinking water out of plastic. I always say
you got to be careful with that. Well, the thing is, in the types of water we live in, so you know, is marketing here, there, and everywhere. So you as the client or the patient or the customer rather has to know. I mean, I have a serious bias to alkaline water, hence the reason why I'm selling it now. I would have used it for like 14, 15 years. There was actually a family member who had a serious health condition. They had problems with the colon. Really bad. It was actually ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. And if anybody knows what that is actually an inflammatory bowel condition where you can go to the washroom for about 50 times for the day. And all you're really passing is air and, you know, minor things. So you know, it's very problematic, it's very troublesome, very embarrassing, and that type of thing. And that was one of the water that we actually used, because the difference with one of the things with alkaline water, one, your pH, which is percentage hydrogen, is higher. So you have a pH of 8.5, 9.5. Any water like that is going to have health benefits. It's going to help you to urinate faster. Then you have something known as surface area to volume ratio. So which means the particle size of the water is smaller. And as a result of that, you find that you're going to urinate quickly because it actually gets to the cells. And then the water has something in it known as ORP, oxidative reduction potential, which basically makes it an antioxidant water. Now, all of that being... Sorry?
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Okay, I think we're having a little technical something here. You hear me to this?
and somebody else when I'm here. Okay.
Oh, that was Siri. Come on there. My apologies. Yeah. So as I was saying, yeah. So with all of that being said, I mean, everything has a cost attached to it. So if cost is a factor, then get your tap water and basically boil it, filter your water. You must filter water. You're not supposed to drink water just like that, right? As it relates to brands, I mean, you do your research, because I don't want anybody to have to send any letter for me. But I can only speak about what I carry as regards to that. But in essence, at least make sure boil your water, filter your water. That's very important. And try. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, in terms of the color of your urine, does the color of your urine determine that something is wrong with you? Color of your urine, color of your stool, the texture, you know, these type of things.
Oh, good question. Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, urine usually, once you drink insufficient amounts of water, at some point in time, your urine is supposed to be clear in color at some point during the day. It is usually standard that your urine is supposed to be straw color which is what we learn in biology and that type of thing. When you take certain vitamins, certain supplements, you may observe your urine maybe becoming a bit orange, and that's most of the time because of the vitamin B or what they use for the vitamin B combination in the vitamin, or if you're taking B vitamins. But usually if you see your urine, the stench, some people your urine very high scented. Your stool is the same. Your stool is supposed to be the size of a banana, consistency of toothpaste, color of cardboard. But color is debatable depending on what you eat. So if you eat like maybe beets, so you have a lot of greens like callaloo, that type of thing, it will show in the stool. So if it's that, you don't have any problem. But if you see in green stool all of a sudden, or any strange looking color stool that doesn't reflect what you may have eaten, then that could be cause for concern. Black stool is definitely problematic. That's usually signs of gallbladder and liver problems, poisoning in the system, that type of thing. Your sweat is something you should pay attention to. If you have high perspiration, again, cleanse and detox is necessary. As I said, things like dandruff, dry scalp, any dry scalp problem you have, internal. That is not your scalp. That's internal. And we have things to correct that situation as well. So again, you could always give us a call. That number again, 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And those locations, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. Debe is the corner of Ramsamud Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That's Muniram Street there in St. James. And Tobago is the Triangle building in Scarborough, Tobago. Yes, sir.
Once again, of course, 306-1061 WhatsApp messages, and 6273-223-625-2257. In terms of what we're gonna deal with is constipation. I'm a 32-year-old male, and I try to drink as much water as I can. Maybe not drinking enough, but I suffer from severe constipation.
Okay.
What can I do?
What can you do? Okay, so quick explanation. The thing is, constipation, bowel movement is actually a central nervous system function. Hence the reason if you are someone with anxiety, you might be going to write an exam or some kind of thing, you could literally, stool on yourself, or you find your belly feel. So that's the reason. The thing is, if you're drinking enough water and you're still getting a problem, then I suggest you try fiber. It means your fiber intake is not sufficient. Remember, one of the things that fiber does is actually helps to decrease the transit time of stool, or decrease the transit time of the digestive process. So in other words, the more fiber, so that's things like oats, things like whole grains or complex carbohydrates, provisions, whole grain stuff, that type of thing. Those are some of the things that you could actually introduce into your diet. Sometimes it's just a cleanse and a detox that you want, in all honesty, because you may have some slight blockage in there. There are some people who actually have impacted fecal matter or stool in the intestines, and that could cause problems as well. So if it is you say you're doing the water and stuff and you're still getting a problem and the fiber, well, then I suggest you give us a visit. You could give us a call. That number again, 222, that's 222-8261. 222-8261. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon again to our social media. Miss Anne-Marie Babb says good day, Batson and Associates. Miss Pat Ashton also tells us good afternoon. She's listening from South Florida. And Miss Jennifer Frank says good afternoon. In addition,
Drinking milk is milk. I know. Yes,
certainly about milk. Well, the thing is, milk in all honesty really is more style than anything else, as opposed to nutrition. If you look at the countries in the world that produce milk, look at their numbers where osteoporosis and arthritis and those kind of things are concerned. So essentially, mammals are supposed to really use milk during gestation. That's the only time a mammal actually able to produce milk, is when she's pregnant. Right. So I mean, what you can do, they have the alternatives now. That's something that you could look at. But it is definitely not something, especially cow's milk, is something that you should be using as an adult, especially if you have autoimmune conditions, if you have problems with asthma, sinusitis, if you have lung problems, milk is definitely not your friend. If you have sinus problems, that is not your friend either, because it will actually contribute to the buildup of what they call phlegm or mucus, and that in itself could cause problems, obstruction of your airways and that type of thing. So it should be something that should be limited to your diet as regards, especially if you have certain health conditions. If you have arthritis too, arthritis, a lot of problems with body pains. No, milk is just going to add inflammation or inflammatory response in the body and actually make those problems worse. So that's a no-no, especially for those individuals.
A question here about eating healthy. Dr. Batson, do you recommend an air fryer to cook certain foods? An air fryer?
Ooh, there's the question of the millennium. Okay, in all honesty, based on the advertisement that I have seen, it looks good, but I have not really delved and digged.
You never used it?
No, I've never used it. I've never used it. I'm the type of person. Now, I'm going to actually do some because a few people ask me, so I'm going to do some digging and look at it and see. But definitely, how you prepare your food is very, very important. I tell persons very quickly, for everyone's benefit, when you're looking at meats especially, you're looking at either steam, grilled, or bake. Keep in mind, grilled is not barbecue. Grilled is a heated surface. Barbecue is when you start to deal with coals and all them fancy things. No. Steam, grill, bake, and if you're frying, well, of course, a sensible type of oil, things like either your coconut oil, but then some people have a problem with the flavor, but then you have things like grapeseed and those other types of oils that have a better heating point, and it would, it wouldn't cause problems. Definitely the way you prepare meat is very, very important. Very, very important.
Of course, good question there.
Yes.
So we're talking to Dr. Jason Batson of Batson Associates, dealing with all your holistic health. And the question 627-3223, 625-225-7306-1065. If you'd just like to give us your location and all your information there once again.
Yes, definitely. So we're located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. The telephone number for that office again is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsamooch Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James, and that is in the Red Edge Mall. That is on the corner of Muniram Street, and that number is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago, of course, is the Triangle Building in Scarborough. Tobago, of course, will be getting their new office, and we'll be having our opening at the end of March, God's willing, and that number is 226-4553. That's 226-4553. So we're in the same building, but we just on the other end, larger space, and that is in Scarborough, Tobago. That's Triangle Building. And of course, keep in mind, the WhatsApp is 314-9975. Again, that's 314-9975. You could also add us on Facebook and social media. We are Batson Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. Very quickly, again, someone was asking, so keep in mind the Santulan Alkagen water, we do have those available at the offices. We also have road delivery as well, so that's something that you could take advantage of. If you don't have time to come to drive to get it, we could drop it for you. That's not a problem.
Beautiful. All right, Batson, well, we seem to be, that's about 1 more minute. Anything you want to say before we leave?
Well, as I said, detoxing is something, and the good thing about it in terms of the price, the detox is sold in different numbers. So depending on what you need, how much you need. So because the same person might need the same amount. Detoxing is something different.
So you assess the person.
Yes. And find out exactly so. So not everything, it's not one plaster fits all. It is tailored to the individual. So that's very important. So again, that telephone number, 222-8261. And remember, as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Mr. Tilbe, sir, it has been a pleasure as usual. And let me say a pleasant good afternoon to the listeners of Freedom 106.5 FM. Till next week, take care, guys. Be safe and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Of course, you've been listening to Batson, Jason Batson of Batson Associates, right here on Freedom 106.5.
Are you someone who always has something to say and share with the world? Do you love expressing your thoughts and opinions on a variety of topics? If so, we want.
Yes, so social media. So we're coming out of this now because we have to go. I need a 15 minutes break. I have to eat quickly. And we're going to deal with DJ Mamu. All right, so it will be djmamuradiott.com. And we start our program from 2:15 to 3:15. Okay? God bless you guys. And I see you for the next program. Take care. Bye. Bye-bye. I'll discuss the vitamin K2 on DJ Mamu's program because I'd forgotten about that with the menstrual cycle stuff. All right. Take care.